Hey guys, Zach here, coming at you with another video. Today I have a really fun topic to talk about. I'm going to be talking about movie games. Now, obviously lots of people have played movie games over their lives. Everyone has different movie games that they grew up with, but I wanted to talk about some real highlights for me. Some movie games that I really thought are worth talking about. Now, of course, obviously I could talk about games like Spider-Man 2 that everyone knows and that everyone loves, and are the main reason why the new Spider-Man game is the way it is, but I feel like I should talk about a little more of the obscure ones. I don't want to talk about the ones that everyone knows about. I want to go a little bit deeper than just games like Spider-Man 2. Oh, no. We're gonna talk about all sorts of different games today. So, without any further ado, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, all that stuff down below, and make sure to hit the notification bell so that you're notified of when I upload videos. And without any further ado, guys, let's get started. The first game I have here is called The Cat in the Hat. Now, hold on, wait a minute. I know The Cat in the Hat is pretty solid meme material, but hold on. The game is actually kind of decent.
You're not just wrong, you're stupid.
It's a 2D side-scroller game where you play as the cat, and you have to basically get all the magic pieces to restore order in the house that Conrad and Sally are in. Simple in theory, but fun in practice. It's really, really cool. I dig this game quite a bit. It has solid controls, the themes for each level are really cool, really diverse, and just the whole game as a whole is decently unique. Yeah, it's a 2D platformer, but that was kind of rare on the GameCube, Xbox, PS2 generation. It was really kind of not seen a lot. But this game did it really, really well, offering unique platforming components and just overall a very fun game as a whole. Look, it even has a free movie pass to watch the new Cat in the Hat movie. Man, this movie must be great. I mean, it's starring Mike Myers.
Here we go.
The next game I'm going to talk about is Aladdin and Nasir's Revenge. Now, technically this isn't based on Aladdin, but it's a spin-off thing from Aladdin, so it works. Aladdin Nasir's Revenge is a 3D platformer on the PlayStation 1 that basically has you playing as Aladdin, and it's a sequel story to the original Aladdin movie. Basically, Jafar has a sister who is never mentioned before and never mentioned since, and she's trying to basically set Jafar free and take over Agrabah. Now, I really like this game. I think this game is decently underrated. Now, it's not a perfect game by any means. I mean, we all know it's a 3D platform on the PS1. There's always going to be some troubles there, but it's a fun game. I really liked it. I really liked it when I gave it a playthrough. I mean, I really liked Aladdin on the Super Nintendo, so that's why I wanted to give this one a shot, because I was like, I mean, Aladdin's my favorite Disney movie, so I might like the game, and sure enough, I did. I think this game is pretty fun. Now, of course, you're going to come to your usual PS1 control issues, you know, where the camera sucks at times and the platforming can be off. But overall, there's a lot of fun to be had in this game, and if you like Aladdin, if it's your favorite Disney movie like it is mine, you might enjoy this game. Now, this doesn't have, obviously, Robin Williams as the genie, but I do believe that every other voice is authentic to the original Aladdin movie. So, and actually, the genie's voice is the genie from the TV show. So, yeah, Aladdin Nasir's Revenge is a pretty good game. Next up is Madagascar. Madagascar is a game that's so interesting. There's a lot of different gameplay techniques here. You have your typical platforming sections in the first mission. You have the stealthy mission, that's the second mission with Marty. There's just a lot here that's just really cool. This game isn't perfect by any means. The graphics are a little bit dated, but obviously it's a GameCube game. In fact, all these games are older. Well, actually, most of them are older. Not all of them, but most of these games are older, so of course the graphics are dated. But it's just a great game. I think it's really fun. You know, Madagascar is... I personally loved the movie, Madagascar, the original. The second one I think was okay, and then the third one was decent. But the first one, nothing beats it. So I think Madagascar is a decent game, decent platform. You get to play as all the characters, including the penguins. It's just a lot of fun. It's just a fun, unique style of game. And yeah, it just hasn't been matched with any of the game's sequels. So yeah, Madagascar, really fun game. Next up here, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge. Again, not exactly based off of the Nightmare Before Christmas movie, but it's like a spiritual sequel to the movie, just in video game form. So here, Jack Skellington gets a new invention called the Soul Robber. The Soul Robber is basically like a giant hand that lets you grab enemies and smash them on the ground. It's so much fun. Basically, think of Devil May Cry, but with a Nightmare Before Christmas skin on it. It's really, really cool. And what I actually really like about this game, some people think it's a little bit corny, a little bit cheesy, but I like that the soundtrack in the game is actually the music from the actual movie, but with new lyrics to it to fit the actual game. So yeah, this game's just a lot of fun. It's not on the GameCube, so if you're a GameCube guy, this isn't on the GameCube for you. But if you have an original Xbox or PlayStation 2, this is definitely one that you can grab. I don't know if it's backwards compatible, at least the Xbox ones. I don't know if it's compatible with the Xbox One, but it's a very fun game. So if you have an original Xbox like I do, you should definitely give this game a shot. It's a lot of fun. Get out of Miss Swamp! It's Shrek 2.
What are you doing in my swamp?
Shrek 2 is such a fun game. Now, this one's interesting because it's not like most of the rest of them where it's a platformer. This one's more so of a beat-em-up kind of game. I mean, there's a lot of platforming elements. Platforming is definitely a main component in the game, but there's a lot more emphasis on combat and puzzle solving. And it's a really cool game. I think it's really fun. And one of the cool things is that it's got a lot of focus on co-op. So basically, you and 3 other friends can take control of 4 select Shrek characters and basically play through the second movie. Of course, there's added missions in there that don't happen in the movie, just, for, padding to make the game a little bit longer, but it's a lot of fun. Each character has their own little moment called Hero Time, and basically that's where one person takes control and you do a single mission, and it's just a lot of fun. Using each character's individual abilities is a lot of fun. That's the thing I like about this game, is that it doesn't feel samey using every single character. Each character has their own individual abilities, and it really lends to the combat and makes it feel not as repetitive. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a 2000s beat 'em up, so there's a lot of repetitiveness in it. But if you are a fan of Shrek, it is a good fun to have. Just don't mind that the voice actors aren't the same. That's something you'll have to ignore. Next up, we have Harry Potter games. Now, of course, there's a lot of them. And I wanted to focus on a couple in particular, because I didn't want to talk about all of them. So I'm only going to talk about 3 in particular. And I think these 3 are not the ones you guys are probably thinking if you're fans of Harry Potter games. Let's start off with the oldest one of the bunch, being Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. I actually really like this game. This game is basically, you play Quidditch. You play Quidditch, you can choose your house, being Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, and you just play Quidditch. It's so much fun. I'm usually not a fan of sports games, but this is a sports game I'll play any day. Oh, and once you get the house cup for your house, you unlock international Quidditch, so you can play as any country you want, whether it be USA, England, Ireland, Bulgaria, wherever you want. And it's just such a fun game. Like, you get to play your favorite Harry Potter characters at first, and then you get to represent your country in Quidditch. It's just so much fun. I love this game. I'm planning a video on this game, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that. It's going to be a silly video, so hopefully you like silliness. I'm going to put the next 2 Harry Potter games together as kind of one here and talk about. I'm going to talk about them separately, but obviously it's Deathly Hallows Parts 1 and 2. The reason I'm talking about these 2 games is because these are the 2 games that nobody likes. And I don't get why. People don't like that it went for a third-person shooter perspective rather than the platformy puzzly game that they had in the past. Now, this is one of those instances where I'm like, I think it fits better for the kind of story that, these games have. These games are reliant on combat. Like, a lot of the time with Harry Potter games, there's a lot of instances where you gotta wander around the castle, find secret things, find hidden places, that kind of stuff. But these games in the movies and the books that they're based off of don't have that much. It's a lot more emphasized on the battles that you have and all that kind of stuff. So really, the third-person shooter element works, in my opinion, for these games. It's hard for me to pick a favorite of the 2. I really like Deathly Hallows Part 2's battle elements a lot more. There's a lot more action, and I really like the running sequences. But Part 1 had a lot more in terms of story, in terms of things to do. Like, for example, in Deathly Hallows Part 1, you can cast a Patronus Charm, fighting against Dementors. there's just a lot more there. You get to explore the ministry, so there's a lot more exploring in part 1. In part 2, it's very linear, and part 1 is very exploring. But I really like these games. I don't get why people hate on them so much. I think they're great. They're great. I don't know. I love them. Next up is Shark Tale. Okay, hold on. I know what you guys are thinking. Shark Tale, you mean that horrible movie from 2004 starring Will Smith? I actually didn't mind the movie. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. But regardless, the game is actually pretty good. It's a 2.5D, I don't even want to say side-scroller. It's more so of an adventure kind of game, where you're stuck in a 2D perspective, but you got to explore your environments to find the things you need to find. There are some really cool chase segments that I really like, kind of similar to Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. It's just overall the game I find is enjoyable. There's actually one mission in particular that I really like. It's like a stealthy kind of mission where you're kind of sneaking around this restaurant kind of thing, and you got to avoid all the, there's actually quite a few of the stealth missions. I really like those in particular. I mean, I'm kind of a sucker for stealth missions, but nevertheless, Shark Tale is a pretty good game. Like, I don't get why people rip on it so much. I mean, I don't think people rip on the game. It's just that so many people rip on the movie to where they don't try the game. And I think you need to try it and see. And that's actually kind of good. I mean, comparing it to the Finding Nemo game, I find this one a lot more enjoyable than Finding Nemo. That's why this one's not on this list, because I like this one more than Finding Nemo. The last movie-based game I want to talk about is The Incredibles. Now, I was also considering putting Rise of the Underminer here, but I really just don't think that game deserves the spot. It's a good game, but it's a bit repetitive. This game is not repetitive. This game has a lot of unique elements. You have Mr. Incredible's beat-em-up sections. You have Mrs. Incredible sections, which kind of are beat-em-up, but have a little more reliance on puzzle solving and using the surroundings to figure out what you're supposed to do. Then you have Dash's running segments, which I think are really fun. And you have Violet's one section, which is the stealth section, which again, I'm weak to stealth sections. I really liked it, and the music is really catchy in that area. But regardless, the game's just a lot of fun. Like, I think it's great. And, one thing I do remember is that there are cheats that you can do in this game. I'm pretty sure that, like, every single one of these games has cheats. But this one, like, has cheats that just make the gameplay more fun. If you thought the dash segments were too easy, then put on the speed cheat, where the gameplay goes, like, 50% faster, or even 100% faster. Then you can start to have some trouble with the dash segment. So if there are parts that are too easy, there are probably cheats to make it harder. There are also funny cheats, like the big head cheat, where, like, you can make every character's head big and all that. There's just a lot to this game that's just really fun, and it just signified what made the early 2000s so great for video games. First of all, they don't even do cheat codes anymore. Cheat codes are just non-existent. Don't even know why. But just games like this show that variety really helps in gameplay. Maybe not for every single game variety. Like, some games just stand good on their own to where it doesn't need a whole variety of gameplay. And if games have variety, sometimes it gives games identity crises, whatever. But this game does it well, and I love The Incredibles. I think it's a great game, and yeah, it's just very much worth your buy. So there you have it, guys. I actually think that totals 10 games, 10 movie games that are all relatively cheap. I think the most expensive one to get is probably Nightmare Before Christmas, because that used to be kind of valuable. I don't know how valuable it is nowadays, but that one's probably the priciest of the lot, but most of them you can probably get for like $10, And if you like these kind of games, if you grew up with movie games, regardless of what generation, if you grew up with the NES or the SNES or the N64 or the GameCube or the Wii, the Wii U, the Switch, no matter what you grew up with, everyone has their movie games they grew up with. Like, that's just how it is. I feel like nowadays movie games aren't as common. In fact, they're being replaced by Lego games, in my opinion, but regardless. There's just not a lot of them anymore. And everyone who's probably, like, at least in their teens, has grown up with movie games. And everyone has their bunch. And those are the bunch that I grew up with. And of course, like I said, Spider-Man 2. And I think that's it. I don't think I'm missing any particular movie games. I can't think of anything. But, regardless. Oh, you. Well, you see, I'm making a video about the SpongeBob SquarePants movie on Friday. So if you like this video and you like movie game discussions in general, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And on Friday, I'm going to be releasing a video talking exclusively about the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, and if I think it is a worthy sequel to Battle for Bikini Bottom. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. All that stuff down below. And check out the merch store. Some cool ZakPak merch up there. You know, just check it out. So, till next time, guys. I'll see you in the next video.